Shannon Sharp, Kanye West, Mav Hoffa, Wallo. Let's get to it, man. Lefty's Locker Room Conversations. What's going on? Travis Peterkin.
What's the word? What's the word?
All right, man. We're gonna get straight to it, man. First off, how you feeling about the this Shannon Sharp situation? My first question for Shannon Sharp is he out of touch with social media and how this new age women thing work?
Uh, Shannon Sharp, first of all, is a very good brother. He got the most viewed interview in YouTube history with about 85 to 90 million views. He did a lot of unprecedented things. He's the voice on ESPN. He rivals Stephen A. Smith, one of the greatest sportscasters of all time, for being the voice of ESPN. Super Bowl champion, damn good football player. I feel like he's not. I don't think he's out of touch. He has a preference. He had a preference in that situation, and he did nothing against the laws of the land.
No,
And it's not
I don't mean
hard.
I don't mean him being out of touch as far as like being an old man, because obviously he running social media and he been in the mix. I'm talking about as
Okay.
far as like you know with how new age women operate in today's time. Like the way he had the side conversations and the way he do the little things on the side, and him getting caught up on the phone with the recordings and all that a couple months back. Like,
Yeah, yeah, I heard about that.
do he need a little bit of game on how to move in today's time with through just social media and being a little bit more private?
Definitely so because I think with Shannon Sharp, he's basically America's favorite uncle, and
Right.
when he's underneath that type of a microscope, you got to watch how you moving. And yeah, he got black children, but when you're messing with somebody of that other race who got the right complexion for that connection,
And for the protection.
for the protection too,
Right.
they ain't gonna do everything to bring you down. And when you read the manuscripts of the case and what he's being sued for, he wasn't like when somebody calls rape, you got to pass that rape kit. It wasn't no force of entry or nothing. It wasn't like as far as vaginal.
Yeah, but
So the
yo, I
girl
mean,
saying
look at the pattern. Like from from Bill Cosby to R. Kelly to
P
Shannon
Diddy,
Sharp to
P
everybody
Diddy also.
to P Diddy. Look at the pattern though. Once one come out, it'd be 1,000 different birds flocking from left field stating that no, this person did this person did that. You know what I'm saying? With Shannon,
Right,
one girl came out, we thought it was over. Now it's another one. So it's
right.
like, I mean, you would think he would learn from the first one, but now look, he's losing a lot. Too many endorsements. Niggas is
I
stepping
mean,
aside from him. You know what I'm saying? ESPN's, Disney, just everything. So it's like, is his career over?
career
Just
is
that
definitely not
fast?
over. Career is definitely not over. Still one of the faces of America, not
Right.
not just Black America. Uh, it's not really his fault that and I thought when it came to the American system, you innocent until proven guilty.
Oh nah,
2025, you guilty until you proven innocent. As
you
long as somebody accuse you of it, it's basically if you're a black man, it's gonna stick to you because
man, it's
we got a
it's
president
been guilty until proven innocent in our case in America for a long time.
since for how long?
For a long time.
Two 300 years ever since we arrived in certain certain regions of
Ever since they've been taking shit to trial and shaking shit to court, you know what I'm saying? And you have to get judged by 12. It's always guilty, until proven innocent.
I think with
Um,
I just think in this case he didn't do anything wrong, but I was listening to one of his interviews on Club Shay Shay. He mentioned a certain radio jock's name. He said he wasn't a fan of this radio jock. And ever since he mentioned that platform that this person has, this radio personality, as I want to say, he said he wasn't a fan of this guy. And on that guy's platform, about 2 weeks later, they announced these charges against him. And
Do,
he's not charged as a criminal. He's not charged in criminal court. It's only a money grab. It's
do
only a
you
money grab.
do you feel like ever since the Cat Williams interview that Shannon started receiving t- too many haters, and wanted to kind of bring down his empire?
Oh yeah, he definitely had a whole lot of haters. I'm not gonna say haters, but everybody when anytime you black and you happy and you in charge and you masculine, everybody comes for you. So this is not a knock to some of our favorite rappers, but you seen the Masons and the Cam'rons speak on him. You seen the Just Hilarious people speak on him. You seen the Breakfast Club speak on him. This is not a diss to nobody, but when you at that number one spot, people gonna aim for you, especially when you the same color as us.
Did you see a segment somewhere on YouTube? I can't recall the man who put it out, but it was a segment where they was basically saying that Shaq put a hit out on allegedly Shannon Sharp as far as he was putting up big cash, big money for anybody that can find dirt on Shannon. Did you see that?
I didn't. I wasn't aware of that type of activity.
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah. It's
I didn't know Shaq had it in him.
yeah, man. It's an actual recording. Nigga had him on a voicemail saying that he got top dollar. That's exact word. I got top dollar for anybody that can dig up some dirt on Shannon. I don't know what type of past beef they had, or but when you get the
Yeah.
chance, look into that. We're gonna move on to Deion Sanders, man. Shouts out to the
All right.
guard.
Prime time. Prime
Shouts
time.
out to
Don't
the
play with it.
guard.
Stay with it.
Prime time, man.
Must be the money. Let's go.
I seen something where they said it's a hit out on black involved fathers. Now look,
Mm.
we speaking on Serena Williams. Serena Williams and Serena, what's the other sister name? Serena and Venus.
Venus.
They
Venus.
father, on the come
Okay.
up, molded them to,
Richie.
become the young ladies they were today. Um,
Right.
it's what is his name? Lamar Ball and the two brothers.
LeVar Ball. Well, he's a little different because with LeVar Ball, he claimed the title of being black, but
Mhm.
some of the actions that him and his family represent is not exactly the geared towards black culture
Okay,
because he
but
doesn't have a black.
it,
He's a
it
black father, but does he really have a black family?
well, I got to check into that, and then we're gonna move into Deion Sanders and all his sons. What was all the chaos about? Was people mad because his son wasn't in the top 5 or the top 10 draft pick, or they thought that he just wasn't gonna get drafted at all?
Oh yeah, yeah.
His son,
I was
what's his name? One second, his name is
Sh-
Sh-
Shador.
Shador Sanders.
Right. Shador. It
So
sound
yeah,
like a
what was the
uh,
chaos about before he got drafted? People was going crazy, like it was like a race, like it was a race thing. But were they mad because he didn't get picked within the top 5, top 10, or they just thought he wasn't going to get drafted at all? It was looking kind of
yeah.
spooky for him.
It was definitely looking kind of spooky for him. In my words, I think they knew he was going to get drafted, but they expected him to be like a top 5, top 10 pick, as in, like Peyton Manning's brother. What's the guy name that played for the Giants? Eli Manning.
Okay,
He wasn't the best quarterback, but he still got drafted real high. He got drafted over Ben Roethlisberger, Philip Rivers, to name a few. we talking about some of the best quarterbacks of our generation here. But
from what I
to
see, I think he got drafted the next day, pick 144 to the Cleveland
yeah,
Browns.
fifth round.
How you feel about that draft pick to the Cleveland Browns as a quarterback?
Cleveland, Black City. If you know
Okay,
Cleveland, if you got family in the Midwest, it's similar to Detroit. It's up there. It's like it's some dudes in Cleveland is like that.
right.
So I mean, he gonna fit in. He gonna fit in where he at. He gonna get in where he fit in. He gonna do his thing. He got a chance to compete for the starting job. The Cleveland Browns also selected somebody in the third round, Gabriel something. I'm trying to remember his name. And then they got the other guy who's still a starter for now, Deshaun Watson.
hmm
So and so he got a chance to go out there compete for the job. He's a young guy. He got a nice little spark to him. He's
Shouts
Deion
out to him.
Sanders. Right.
Shouts out to Shadar Sanders. Yo, do you have any knowledge on the other two sons? Do you know have they been drafted to any other teams?
I don't have any knowledge on the other two sons. I know he had two siblings. You know, he had a brother who played with him in college, but I'm not too sure about them. I would think he's the best player next in line from that family.
Okay,
You got Deion Sanders Jr. and another sibling, but Shador Sanders is the one grabbing the headlines right now.
that's what's up. And this is what aside from all that, this is what the elites are scared of. They scared of, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, black men pushing all this and getting them to and getting their kids into, setting them up. Whether it's
Right.
NBA, NFL, soccer, tennis. Look at LeBron. Look at all the flack he did. He got for doing something positive for his. You know what I'm saying? Setting him up, knowing he's about
Right.
to
Right.
retire. You know what I'm saying? He getting him ready, regardless
Right.
if the people think he's too young or if they think he's not ready. But he's here now. Shouts out to the LeBron family.
Right.
Moving on, man. Kanye motherfucking West, man. Kanye West, man.
Kanye.
Hey, hold on. Before you give your thoughts, man. All, I want to say this. Like
Talk to me. Talk
everybody
to me.
got a love hate relationship for Kanye because at the end of the day
Right.
he's our brother. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start there.
Uh. Okay.
Second off, um, I don't know why the people was just like acting like this is brand new Kanye. Kanye showed who he was back when Hurricane Katrina happened. George Bush was in office, and he got in front
Right.
of the camera and said what he said.
Says that George Bush does not care about black people.
Exactly. I mean, so what's the difference from Kanye Kanye then to Kanye now? No, now look. Aside from all that, man, we
Okay.
know that he's been going through a lot of mental health issues, due to his mom's passing. A lot of that
Okay.
plays a part into his behavior.
Okay.
Instead of people reaching out to help the dude, he's in the media 24/7 for lashing out. We do know he's a grown
Okay.
ass man. We do know what I'm saying. He should be able to control his emotions and his tongue at times. But if you see a nigga down, you don't kick him while he down. That's just how I feel. Aside from all
Right.
that, how do you feel about that cousin song that everybody speak? That, you know what I'm saying? That is it's in the algorithm. So how do you feel about that? How do you?
Uh, well, before I give some of my remarks on the song, what is a little bit of a summary? What because I think I know what I want to say, but I kind of want to hear more of what the song is about. So if you could, good brother,
I
give me a
mean,
little bit.
I'm hearing in real time just like everybody else is hearing. Like I mean, I scanned through the song, didn't really listen to the whole song, but the biggest thing from the song is basically him stating that when he was what, maybe he said he started around 6 years old doing fellatio on his male cousin,
Oh
and
yeah.
it didn't stop until he was 14. So that was that
What is
was
right?
that was the main topic within the song. So my question is,
Okay.
and it's called Cousins. It's titled Cousins. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel Kanye? Do you feel like it's a made up story, or you feel like this is another one of his rants,
Well,
or do you feel like he just telling his truth?
I mean, you gotta. I mean, as my father once told me. I mean, I've never joked like that. I don't make music like that. And my father once said that it's truth in every joke. So Kanye got to watch what he be putting into the universe. And you hear a song like that by Kanye West. By the time you finish clapping, Kanye left. We watching. We watching. I don't want to say a meltdown or one of Black America's greatest superstars, but much as you got, you know, pills and dope and crack, fame is a big time drug. So I don't necessarily think he's a part of that community, but he's definitely using who he is because it's bigger than him as being a physical being now. His name itself is going to bring headlines for the next 300 years. So the concept of who Kanye West is going to always grab headlines. So when you put stuff like that into the universe, you're going to get some severe backlash and reactions back.
I feel like
That's
Kanye is a staple in hip hop, and his name is gonna live on for another 20 years. As far as just certain shit that he put out in the atmosphere that people were scared to talk about before he went left and went crazy. You know what I'm saying? This
okay.
goes back to him
Okay.
making a song called Jesus Walk. This is back when the radio didn't want to play nothing positive at the time. You know what I'm saying? He was the only nigga on the radio with a Jesus Walk song, and they was actually playing that shit. It was damn near a hit. But Lupe Fiasco at one point had damn near the same music out. Nobody wanted to play it. You remember that? You remember that point where it was a big that song had a lot of controversy around it onto if they wanted to play it or not. But it was being played
Jesus Walks.
like crazy at the time, huh?
Crazy with Jesus Walks. The first time I heard Jesus Walks on the radio, because it came out in 2004, but the first time I remember hearing it on the radio and then it got taken off was like, I would believe like 2001 or 2002. That's a song he been making. But
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Walks is very similar to Tupac's Hail Mary. Uh, it broke a lot of barriers. It pushed a lot of pushed a lot of envelopes and made a lot of headlines. And I think that was when he was still in his creative bag and he was reaching for the stars. In this
Right.
day and age, I think he's comfortable in who he is, and he's not worried about anybody's opinion. If he got something on his mind, he gonna say it. He
And
gonna say it every time too.
that's bottom line. He's doing what a
He
lot of
ain't scared of
rappers
nobody.
he says what a lot of rappers are scared to say. Even
Right.
before he went left, he was when people were scared to say certain things, they'll keep the conversation brief. But he was going all in. That's what separates him from the rappers. But moving on, man. Math Hoffa, man.
Okay.
Math Hoffa. Math motherfucking Hoffa. How you feel about Math Hoffa, man? We going because uh $1 million my expert opinion was a lit show at one point. I ain't gonna hold you.
It was the hottest show in the game. The hottest
He
show in the
had
game.
legendary guests come through, Havoc, know what I'm saying? Fucking just you name it. It's just legendary.
Robert
Um
F. Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Everybody, you know what I'm saying? And he was damn neck and neck with Drink Champs. At one
Right.
point. With
Right.
everybody. He ended up on a BT red carpet and all that. But my thing is, um, do you feel like Math is in his own way? In his own I mean, because he rebranded himself from underground from what was it?
Free
From
battle rappers. Battle
from
rappers. Battle
battle rap.
rappers.
He rebranded himself from battle rap into podcasting. Was doing real good, but
Yeah, he was
it's a
not
dark
fucking.
cloud around his name when it comes to business. So how you feel about
I
Math and
mean,
this this whole this whole experience right now?
I feel like you know. I feel like when just like same as Shannon Sharp right now with Math Hoffa. He was a battle rapper. He was known as the tall guy who was punching people in the face, and everybody was shocked that he would move it and found a way to reinvent himself. And I think people was most surprised when he spoke. He actually made sense, and he used that. And he used his opinion to make a campaign. And he had people who was willing to, who believed in him, who sat around him in those chairs. I think what I get from the whole situation with Matt Pfeiffer, the people around him couldn't beat a man, so they wanted to beat the man. And I'm not dissing nobody around him.
I
There's
disagree.
nothing wrong.
I disagree. I disagree.
All right, talk to me.
Did Math Hoffa make the show, or did his co-host make the show?
I mean, nobody knew who his co-host was. Everybody was coming to see Mav Hoffa and see if he actually could make sense. And when they seen he could make sense, they tuned in to hear him speak to the
Nah,
guests.
nah, nah, nah. The co-host was guys like Heineken and Esso.
Okay,
The co-host was guys like Mecca, Bigger, Gat Murder. You know what I'm saying? That was the
Got
niggas that
murder.
was
Okay, got
sitting,
murder.
but the niggas that was sitting beside them in the chairs, asking these celebrities questions and adding to the show. So what did Math take away the co-host? Do Math make the show, or do the co-host make the show? In my opinion, I felt like you take away the co-host, there is no my expert opinion. Everybody played a part, but I feel like Math gets in his own way, and it started with Space Ghost, the cameraman. He came out first and said, "Man, I'm doing all this work for you. I ain't getting paid." So so talk to me, man. How you feel about it? Because from him, you just started seeing him firing niggas left and right, or niggas walking off the show, and everybody got the same analogy: is they ain't getting paid for their time.
Yeah, it's like the snowball effect in Black America. So when one person says it allegedly, it's a snowball effect. First, it was his I don't even know how you get into beef with your cameraman, and then who even knew this guy even existed to say he wasn't getting paid. But just like Biggie said, I'm saying if you don't know, now you know. You got the guy Esso and Heineken, good brothers. I mean, I think they became more known and famous once. And this is not a diss to them. I just know Heineken more from working with Tony Yayo and them on District 50 TV. That's one. And what I know Heineken for most is when he got into the verb exchange with Tony Yayo. So and Math had nothing to do with that. Math was trying to help the guy. Math somewhere in there. He might have did bad business. And I gotta admit Math Flower was a friend of mine. I should see him in Manhattan sometime. Him and Shorty. Show brother love. Give me a follow on social media. Shout out to Math Alpha. I'm not picking sides or teams or anything like that, but you gotta call a spade, you know?
Listen, man. This how I feel, man. Yo, business will never work if your employees are not happy.
Okay.
That's bottom line. That also there's no loyalty if your employees are not paid. Why I say that? Because they can be bought, just like these hoes. You know what I'm saying?
Dogs too. A dog is only loyal to the person who's feeding him.
So
And if you rob a bank, there is no honor among thieves neither.
exactly. So if you're supposed to be the leader and you leading the wolf pack and you're not
Okay.
feeding your dogs, but it's another motherfucker over here offering them steak, housing, you know what I'm saying, shelter and everything, you think they're gonna be loyal to you, or you think they're gonna go over to the motherfucker that's gonna feed them and give them shelter? So
Okay.
do you know Bigger? You remember Bigger from the show, the security dude?
Of course I remember Bigger. Sean Bigger, the man of God.
Shouts out to Bigger. Did you see him and Space Ghost have a sit down and speak on the situation?
I seen when him and Space Ghost had to sit down. I don't know if it was recently, but I
It's a couple
definitely
days
seen
ago.
that.
A couple days ago.
Oh, I ain't seen a couple. I definitely seen the one when him and Esso Heineken had like the big time sit
Nah,
down
nah.
two
I
part.
need you to look at the interview with Bigger and just Space Ghost. They just had an Space Ghost interviewed Bigger on Bigger's podcast, and Bigger just let out his perspective on what really happened, and he dropped the bomb. Bigger said the real reason why the shop was closed is because niggas was running up to the shop, busting shots at the shop, looking for Math, standing outside the
Oh,
shop, shooting, saying, "Yo, where Math at?" Opening the doors, you know what I'm saying, with the grip like this, niggas running for shelter. You know what I'm saying?
oh,
Check that out. So he said
nah, but
he
Bigger,
said to cut all
Bigger.
the bullshit, the real reason why the shop closed and the owner closed the shop is because niggas was coming up to the shop and basically busting shots outside of the shop, looking for Math and screaming Math names and stuff like that.
I mean, we nobody else knew that, but Sean Bigger, the man of God. He got he definitely got an expert opinion on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I
So
mean,
the way he broke things down and said he was working for Math for 3 whole years before everybody started coming on board without getting
okay.
paid. Um, he explained a lot, and I just feel like after this all play out with my expert opinion, and people seeing Mav's character, and shouts out to Mav. He's a good dude, but at the same time, when it comes to the entertainment business, that's all they got to see for you to be so called blackballed, for you to get on that Gilly level at the time when Gilly speak on Hove or whoever it was that was stopping him from eating a little bit. So his character is gonna stop him from being on any other podcast working with
Hold
anybody.
on. My fault. Hold on, sir. My fault, brother. My fault, good brother.
Are you good? So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. His character and his and his lack of knowing how to do business with people is going to stop him really from getting the way he really need to be. Look what's going on
Yeah, he
now.
might.
SO and Heineken is going crazy on a podcast right now. Then you got the other dude that got out of jail, the light skinned nigga that did Bimmy kind of dirty. That was on there for a little bit. You remember him? That was beatboxing and shit for. He was on there for a second.
Oh yeah, yeah. The guy who was on camera stealing the
Still in the
white lady credit card.
shit.
What's going on with
Dead
you?
ass.
Yeah, what's going on with your boy?
Yeah, so he got a podcast now, and his shit is popping. Oh, you can only imagine how Matt feel. He's sitting on the
What's
sidelines,
that guy name?
heated.
Tell me that guy name though.
I
His name
can't.
is
I
some.
forgot the nigga name. Um, I forget the nigga name too. We'll figure it out later. So yeah, man. So that was a big storyline. My expert opinion was legendary. It'll never happen again. Everybody done branched off, got their own thing going, but Math just gotta. I don't know, man. He gotta sit back for a little bit and come back and rebrand however you rebrand. We gonna be sitting here waiting for you, Playboy. So we gonna move on. Wallo.
Okay.
Let's talk about Wallo for a second, man. So yo, the
Talk.
question is, can Wallo be canceled?
Uh, what's the reason for them trying to cancel Wallo?
They wanted to cancel Wallo because he was speaking on black businesses, and the way I guess they didn't like his delivery on when he was speaking about it, and he was telling the
Well, what?
people like nobody gives a fuck if you got a black owned business. He was saying like that don't mean
Hmm.
we gonna deal with you. He was like yo I only deal with consistency. So he was basically
Hmm.
saying like, yo, if your brand or whatever you're selling ain't good, or I'm gonna spend my dollar wherever I want to spend it at. You know what I'm saying? It's not just because you're a black owned business, I'm gonna spend my dollar with you. So the people try to cancel him based off of that. How do you feel?
I mean, Wallo done did so much for the community. That spoke to so much children and gave away so much money. Done invested in so much black businesses. Done $1 million worth of game. Even had a business spotlight, basically showing brothers how to get money through credit. He can't be canceled. I mean, people gonna try to DP him. I mean, try to discipline him. But
Made men can't be canceled.
right,
You know what I'm saying? That's what separate niggas like Cam and Mace on a podcast. You know what I'm saying? They can
yeah.
talk they can talk their shit because they built it from the ground up, opposed to other dudes. But how I feel is do you think the people missed the message and only caught on to the delivery and the person the message came from rather than really listening to what he was actually saying?
I think what it is in this day and age with cancel culture within the black community is like the media personality because the hip hop media somehow wage war against the rappers. They trying to send this message saying that nobody is basically bigger than them like than them like the algorithm. That's like the message I'm getting. Anytime a black person gets too big for his means, the the I would say the black media or the black algorithm somehow conspires to bring him back down to size so he know who he really is. You know, Jonathan Majors was a victim of that. Shannon Sharp is becoming a victim of that. He was becoming these guys was big time. Jonathan Majors was set to star in the next movie of Avengers. His movie got dropped and scrapped, and they filmed it with somebody else. But back to your boy Wallow. These are this guy is big time. He's not America's favorite uncle, but he's America's favorite cousin.
That's a fact.
So he's
Wallow,
America's favorite cousin.
yo, shouts out to Wallow, man. Wallow is gonna give you hard truth and hard facts, man. That's just something that America and the world is missing these days. We all had a uncle that everybody thought was mean, but he wasn't giving you nothing but game of life.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? And Wallow has the right to talk his shit because he done did 20 years in federal penitentiary. You know what I'm saying? So he's given nothing but 20 years worth of game, not from the streets, but just sitting back and you know, just sitting down give you nothing but time to think. Nigga
right.
came out and touched the ground. A lot of niggas been on been outside of jail for 20 years and they did half the shit Wallo did. So I appreciate the message and salute to Wallo, man. We gonna leave it at that. Yo, I got a couple more questions for you. Now we're gonna switch it up a little bit and we're gonna get to talking about boxing. Terrence Crawford. Um, how do you feel about the Canelo versus Bud fight? And do you feel retirement is coming for Bud?
I mean, if I'm correct, I heard the fight is worth is it a 2-fight deal that's worth 750 million? I'm trying to make sure the numbers is right.
I don't know.
Because
I don't know. I gotta look into that.
I heard that number was thrown out there. I heard it was a number for 750 million.
Got it.
That's
Do
three fourths of $1 billion.
yo do that beat the do that outmatch the Pacquiao and Floyd number?
I think so. I think so. 'Cause that was a Floyd. That was a fight that was delayed for 8 years or something like that. I think with Terrence Crawford and Shaw Alvarez, it was made immediately. And these two guys who's in the spotlight right now.
Right.
So you got
Yo,
to give.
Crawford is like he like a young OG in the game. It's so crazy with niggas like of that class as far as like niggas like Crawford, Javante, Broner, Spence. Know what I'm saying? That whole little class right there, like they young OGs. But do you like? I heard Terrence talking about retirement. Do you feel like it's too early for him? Like
It's too
retirement,
early
even though
for
he
him.
been in the game for so long.
Oh yeah, definitely. Terrence Crawford is 41-0. I think he got the best chance of passing Floyd record. I don't see nobody at 154 or 160 beating him. We want to see him. He's a household name, but we want to see him transition to being that media superstar that Floyd was as well. You know.
Facts. Shouts out to Terrence Crawford, man. He had an interview on Club Shay Shay not too long ago. He spoke about
Okay.
Javante, and a lot of different topics, man. Very humble dude. Shouts out to him. Moving on to Shoo Shoo. Right now we're on a boxing segment with Trav
Okay.
Peterkin. Shoo Shoo, how do you feel about Shoo Shoo look real good on that fight versus Jose Enrique? Did you see it?
Okay. I watched the fight.
How you felt about it? Do you feel? What my
But
question is? Do you think? Well, we know it is, but do you think it's time for a title fight for Shoo Shoo? And who do you think would be a great matchup for starters if they
uh,
give him that title shot?
Styles make fights and shoot and the boxing community is definitely a household name. So
Facts.
I've
Shouts
been
out to the
seeing a
Ville.
lot of big on Brownsville. I want to see him fight Nick Ball.
Mm,
I think Nick Ball's a small, compact fighter. Shushu, he's bigger than what people think he is. He makes 126, but I think in the amateurs he's fighting 140 pounds.
mm,
Shushu, good friend of mine. I'm very familiar with the family, not only in the sport of boxing, but just in the neighborhood of Brownsville. I knew his
right.
family my whole life. I've known Shushu. First time I seen Shushu, he was 4 or 5 years old. So this is
Facts.
like people. I think my father. I'm disclosing on Lefty's podcast. My father went to high school with his mother. So
Mm,
these people we've known for 30, 40, 50 years, man.
facts. Brownsville is a very family oriented community. You know, it gets a bad rep, but it's very family oriented. Most of these guys, people been living there over 40, 50 years. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
It's a very, and it used to be a, well, I ain't gonna say at one point, I talked about this on the last podcast. It was owned by the Jews and Italians at one point, but then it started getting flooded with a lot of black owned situations. But moving back on the
right.
boxing, man. Shouts out to Shoo Shoo, man. Um, Shakur Stevenson. We're gonna talk about him, man. It's a lot of controversy around Shakur these days. Right now, I think he got a fight coming up, but they saying he's been being humbled. He's got humbled because he's on Edgar Beringa's undercard. How do you feel about that?
Uh,
Do you think it
I
should be the
mean,
other way around? But they saying, uh, he's being humbled at this point by being on Edgar Beringa's undercard.
I mean, he's a undefeated two division world champion. He signed to Jay Prince. He got an endorsement deal from Reebok, and he's an Olympic silver medalist.
Who you talking
He
about,
hasn't
Shakur?
lost a fight. Yes, he got all the accolades. When you were Olympic silver medalist, undefeated, two-time world champion, signed with Reebok, got some of the biggest deals in the world, and the household names like he is, and he barely lost a round in boxing. It's not about being humble. I think it's for sure for Shakur Stevenson, he's going to get the money. It's about playing team ball. You know,
Right.
he's
Do you
doing
feel
he's
like
he's.
that?
I think I mean the game is not to be sold. I mean it's not to be told. It's definitely to be sold, and he's selling his idea and his gimmick to him like the highest bidder. So
Do you feel like Edgar Berlanga is an overrated boxer? For them to put Shakur Stevenson on his undercard, and for them to give Edgar Berlanga a fight with Canelo before your hold on, your phone went mute. Your phone is mute. Your shit went mute. Yeah, man, we're gonna keep it going, man. For them to give Edgar Berlanga uh a shot with Canelo before
yo,
it,
hello,
so
my fault. I couldn't hear you. Say it again.
so
Sorry
get
about
back
my
to
fault.
I said, do you feel like Edgar Berlanga is an overrated boxer? My question is,
Uh,
the reason why I say that is because I'm like, for them to put Shakur Stevenson on this undercard for one, for two to give Edgar Berlanga a shot with Canelo Alvarez before they would give certain other boxers a
Demetrius
shot.
Andrade.
You get what I'm saying? So how do you feel?
I mean,
And yo, this is I'm not talking down on Edgar Berlanga. He's a great boxer, but let's talk about it.
I mean, we got a guy named Boo Boo Andrade, Demetrius Andrade, right?
Hmm?
First time I remember seeing Demetrius Andrade was the winter of 2003. I fought his brother Matt Andrade. He got 4 or 5 brothers who all box.
Right,
Uh, this guy was a U.S. Olympian, multiple-time national champion, and everything else. Undefeated, two division world champion, and he never got a chance to fight Canelo. He had to wait his chance before a guy named Berlanga. And the excuse that everybody was using was Berlanga was selling tickets. Well, I don't say excuse, but that was his claim. That's what he was known to do. He was basically bringing the revenue. So, and boxing is about business.
right,
We like it business. We definitely
right,
in a hurt business, but
right.
business is still opposed to is still included in that sentencing. You could definitely be a street guy. You can stay on the street, but you got to make your money inside that building.
That's a fact.
And it's not what you know, it's who you know.
That's a fact.
And Berlanga, good guy. Seems like a good guy, positive dude. He rides for his community. But he must know somebody. He must know the man who know the man.
He
He
do.
definitely.
And shouts out to Terror Squad. That Terror Squad. Fat Joe, one of the sponsors. All right, so it is what it is, and Edgar Berlanga is basically like family. Like when we moved, when I was moving around in the boxing, we moved around in a lot of different gyms. We started out in East New York, then we moved to
Right.
Canarsie, Packplex gym, and we met a lot of different trainers from Staten Island and a lot of good dudes. Then we go to Bed Style Boxing Gym, the Mecca. Know what I'm saying? Where a lot of legendary fighters went. Then down a block, 2 blocks down, we go to Spanish Town. It's Gym X, and that's where we met Edgar Berlanga. And sometime he'll come to our gyms wherever we was at Packplex. I had the chance to
Gotcha.
spar him plenty of times in the light heavyweight division.
Right.
Most I can say about Edgar is he's strong, but he can't box. He get in that
Okay.
ring with a boxer, he's getting his lights out, motherfucking Tony. Mark my words.
Oh.
He's a great boxer. He's very strong, but he can't box with a boxer. Know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He can get off, but he's not a. You heard the terms before. You got sluggers and you got boxers. He's not a
Right.
boxer. But
Okay.
shouts out to him. We salute to Shakur Stevenson. Um Good luck on all fights, and we gonna move on. Yo, Trav, we getting down to the last segment. This is the very. I want to talk about Vlad. My question
Talk
about
about it.
Vlad
Talk
is
about it.
I seen a segment where they said Vlad finally decided to apologize to Farrakhan 5 years later.
Really,
That's a
really.
fact. So how do you feel about that?
We gotta put that.
And
We gotta put that clip up. We gotta put that clip up because we talking about the King of
go on your phone
Kings.
right
I
now. Go
said
on
it.
your phone right now. He apologized. He not only apologized to Farrakhan 5 years later, he also apologized to Marlon Wayans when he went on his little when Vlad went on his little rant. But
Yeah, he's throwing a big time tantrum. Throwing a tantrum. Yeah.
my question to all that is, yo, why do we allow these culture vultures to bring down our legends? And why is it okay for every other race to speak on us, and we can't speak on hold on, why is it okay for them to speak on us uh and show an image of us, but if we speak on a snooze, you know what I'm saying, the people we can't speak on, you know what I'm talking about, top hats, curly sides, if we speak on
Hmm.
them, the Nazis, the fraud organizations, then all hell break loose.
Right.
So talk to me. First, let's go one at a time. How do you feel about Vlad finally apologizing to Farrakhan 5 years later?
Uh, that's big time because that I feel like that was long overdue. Because when it comes to Farrakhan, he's the realest of the realest,
That's the
and
God.
he's
Salute to
the
the God.
last black leader we got left on earth.
Right.
Talking about we got black speakers, but Farrakhan's the black leader.
He's the last.
So
He's the last of a dying breed that we still have. And niggas better appreciate him. They canceled him. They canceled
you
Frank.
can't
Took all his half his teachings off the internet. The fruit of Islam had to find a different source to get the word out.
erase him up.
Like they did him dirty.
I remember, you know why I knew Farrakhan is real. We all know the legend of Farrakhan, but when Louis Farrakhan came to Brownsville, Brooklyn, when he came to Blake and Mother Gaskin, I
He said,
seen
"Blick your mother
Nation of
Gaston."
Islam came to Blake and Mother Gaskin. He had Muslims, Nation of Islam. He was there. He had people on the roof. He spoke behind the Van Dyke Center, front and center.
Nah, yeah, that's the project.
He came to the trenches. He had I seen about 200 suits on about 5 building roofs.
Nah, that's crazy. Yeah, he got power, man.
And, and he ain't fake or front. He came. I give him his credit. What credit is due. That's very big of Vlad to apologize, and I feel like Vlad, because it's the stories of him getting beat up and stomped out by certain rappers. So he's hiding behind the title. He keeps saying he's Jewish. He doesn't believe in God, so that means you can't be Jewish because being a Jew, like it's not an ethnicity. And Vlad's a guy who pick and choose because his name is Vladimir, so his family is Russian, but he was born in the Ukraine to Russian citizens who practice the Jewish religion. But he keeps speaking about the Middle East. If your family was victims of that Holocaust, you're not from the Middle East, bro. You come from somewhere in Europe. So you gotta. I think it's important for people to tell Vlad to mind his business and stick with his own.
They're not gonna do that as long as Vlad. Yo, one thing about the black race is crazy, son. And yo, our shit traced back longer, way before slavery, because we got rich history. But it starts in slavery when it comes to the house nigga and the field nigga, the yesa massa and the yesa massa nigga and a rebellious nigga. You know what
Yes,
I'm saying?
both.
And
Yes,
and
both.
and that's what we have out here. You got to be able to identify them, separate yourself from them, and know which tribe you know what I'm saying you come from. So the niggas that's rocking with Farrakhan is like-minded individuals like yourself and I that understand what he speak on, and anybody against it is the yes a master nigga. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
those are the ones we don't speak on. But yo, outside of that, it goes to me saying, furthermore, with that is like, why can all these other culture vultures speak on us and have an image of us this and stuff like that, but we speak on them, we got to get canceled. Outside of that, at one point, niggas like Farrakhan and people from his cloth, those leaders is gone. What I mean by that is they got killed. If they didn't get killed, they got locked, but most likely they got unalived. So what I say is, the new leaders of today I'm gonna just say one. Rashad Jamal, he was talking that shit. He ended up getting locked up. It's another man. They say that it felt like he was doing a cult, and a lot of women was following him. He's locked up right now. I forget his name. I'll do my research later. But
Okay.
Rashad Jamal is locked up for speaking damn near with Farrakhan speak plus more and enlightening.
Okay.
And that nigga, they damn near trying to give him numbers. So I'm what I'm trying to say is our past leaders got unalived. These days, they is not going to unalive you. They're going to send you in jail and just let you rot. How do you feel about
Mm.
that?
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're gonna put you in jail. They're gonna let you rot, and then most importantly, people's getting silenced. You give one thing. I think the worst kept secret in the black nation is we always available to be bought for top dollar, and that's what a lot of these. That's what a lot of our so-called black leaders are doing right now. You give us a little bit of money, we gonna keep quiet. You know what I'm saying? And
The,
it's just a shame because we got the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons and we got these black speakers, but who is gonna who's gonna rise above that crowd and be the cream of the crop? Because
we can't talk about the Jesse Jacksons and the Al Sharptons. They was yesterday's history, and they was bought
right,
already. Them niggas been
mm,
bought already. They the Yester Masters house niggas at this point. So now we have new leaders of today, and the new leaders of today is not like the old leaders as far as um they're different in their own way. The new leaders of today is more on the internet, as far as TikToks, the Instagrams, and they spreading their message through that way. You know what I'm saying? It may not be what we're used to, but they're a leader within their own rights. Like I said, such as Rashad Jamal. He was talking that talk, and he's a leader through. You know what I'm saying? Through that, allegedly the people caught on to that, and they locked him up.
the reason
Allegedly,
why the reason,
huh?
but the reason why I mentioned the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons because they have reached a certain platform, a certain plateau. The
Right.
guys, the guys of today, sorry to say, just might never get that far. They might not be able to capture the people's imagination the way Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson did, bro.
I mean, do you feel like the people cared more then for them to capture the people's imagination
Of
rather than now?
course,
The
of
people don't.
course.
The people don't care now to hear what these people really got to say.
Black people don't want black leadership from a black person anymore. Or we probably don't want it from we might want it from a black woman instead of a black man. We don't want black leadership from our own. We want black leadership from a non-black person these days. Because every time a black man come along preaching, it's always something. There's always some type of dirt that's used to bring him down. He got to be like the most perfect guy on earth. I believe if Martin Luther King and Malcolm X was born in these times, they wouldn't have gotten as far as they did. Facts.
Mm, that's a good
Facts.
conversation. But yo, we gonna leave it right there. I feel like we touched on a lot today. I don't want to overdo it. Shouts out to Travis Peterkin. It was a great conversation. Lefty locker room conversations. Salute to the gods.
Stop. Keep banging. Cut like a bag of dope, man.
All right.
Let's go. All right.